Hey everybody, welcome to episode 5 of the Hear Me Here podcast. I'll explain why I'm laughing in a second. But joined today, I've watered this word down. I say it way too much. I know I do. But today, just trust me, joined by a legend today. Got one of my closest friends in the world. He's a firefighter, a youth pastor, founder of one of my favorite nonprofits on the planet, Next Rung. Got Blake Stinnett in the house.
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
Take two, because we actually I use a program called Logic that I've used for 15 years, recording records and doing all the things I do, and I've never seen it do what it just did. It was taking like 20-second takes and just starting over and over again. So we got about 15 minutes into the podcast and just push restart and we're starting over. So
well, I appreciate you calling me a legend. I'm not one, but I'll take it. You know what I mean? Like, if that's the title I get,
he is.
I feel a little bit better about myself.
He's a legendary guy. Well, I mean, you can kind of define, like, legendary friend, husband, dad. Like, you can be a legend, a bunch of things.
That's
Maybe
right.
not like a worldwide legend,
man.
But I don't, neither of us come across them very often. But I know everyone around you holds you in overly high regard, which is kind of how you tell, if you're living life right. I would say if everyone around you kind of has the same opinion. And with you, I don't really ever get any negative opinions of Blake.
Yeah, there's probably a few out there, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Everyone's got them, right?
That's
if you don't
right.
have haters,
That's right.
What are you doing? But so, we're actually right now sitting in the green room of the church that we both work for, which is normally a chaotic, insane kind of mid-ground between all the three ministries. Everyone's always in here. It's very loud, and
It's where all the good food is.
oh, it is where all those biscuits are on Sunday morning. And but it's 5:45 in the afternoon, and I've never been up here at 5:45 on a Sunday. I know you are a lot because that's when you guys do student ministry, but I'm rarely up here Sunday afternoons because I'm here so early Sunday mornings, and man, it's quiet and nice up here. It is
nice
cooling
and cool,
down.
yeah.
We joked on the first take that literally our family pastor has control of the AC, and he's the only one that's got it. And I'm pretty sure that like at 12:05 p.m. on Sunday, it reverts to like cool, beautiful air to like Satan's lair. Because when I walked into this church, I swear it was 100. It was so hot and nasty. We were both sweating. I think it's cooled off 10 degrees since our first take started. So this is probably going to be way better because we're not miserable.
That's it, dude.
Sitting in pools of sweat.
Satan's lair is accurate, and we have a few windows in the youth room and 2 double doors. It's like just glass on one side, man. So I was sweating to death this morning. We were getting ready for a pancake breakfast that we were doing for our uprising 6th graders, and
that room's never been cold. Even in the winter when we were building, like when the building was being built, no windows, no door. Still, that room somehow was warm. It's never cold. It's never going to be cold.
Sun, dude, is awful, but it's okay.
It's fine.
I like to preach on hell a lot in there. I'm just kidding.
There you go. Hey, yeah, it's going to feel just like the youth room. Yeah.
Please, no. Yeah.
So, but yeah, we had a wild day today. Just a lot going on. We're in that like back to school phase right now, so everything's crazy. People are starting to like, oh yeah, that church thing. People are starting to come again. It's just people everywhere, and then we've got 5th graders rising up to 6th grade, joining the student ministry. So firing on all cylinders here at the church. So it's nice to have a chill Sunday afternoon.
Last chill Sunday for a while for me.
Anyway. Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
Student ministry starts.
We kick back off next Sunday, dude.
It happens.
Yeah.
It's happening. So, but I wanted second off, because we did this 25 minutes ago when I screwed up, but I wanted you to go through and talk about Next Rung, because what it is, how you started it, what its impact has been so far, because I know, like, I feel like firefighters weren't really front and center. Really ever. Like, my dad's best friend was a firefighter for his entire career in Atlanta. His name's actually Hank Williams, which is funny, but cool. Yeah, he I I wouldn't say front and center for me, but like I recognize firefighters, and it wasn't just like, I want to be a firefighter when you're 5 years old and then you forget they exist until your house is on fire, which I feel like happens a lot. But it was always kind of front of mind for me because Dad would always be like, Hank's on the news. Like he was always the guy who they interview when I remember in Atlanta, like a parking garage it caved in, and like they interviewed him. And
I see he's like the PIO or something maybe.
Yeah, he super, super great dude. Like just like just
that's cool.
Awesome firefighter. And so I kind of understood. And then I feel like 9/11 happened, and then everybody was like, oh my gosh, we have to take care of these guys, like they've been through this horrific tragedy. And I feel like firefighters maybe response was like, thank you, we're glad that you guys are noticing us, and especially like New York, but like maybe not to the scale of death, but we're going through tragedy and seeing this stuff literally on a daily basis, like forever. Like you guys have, not on the scale, obviously, and not like I'm saying, playing into building terror attack, but you guys are having massive, traumatic, horrific things in front of your eyes. And I, for a lot of first responders, cops too, like I know they see stuff, but like, you guys are seeing this all the time. So, I'm glad that you're doing what you're doing with Next Rung, because I feel like it needs to happen. And just walk through, like, I want to know it all. Like, I know it all. I want everyone to know it all.
Absolutely. So Next Rung started in 2017 as a T-shirt company. I was a rookie fireman and had an idea that, it'd be really cool to create some stickers and some shirts, and it just developed into apparel as a whole. And the goal through really, starting all that was I want to take a portion of the profits, the proceeds, and give it back to a nonprofit that was doing some cool stuff, And so I started Next Rung in January or February. I think it was January, end of January of 2017, and started selling T-shirts and stickers and hats, all the fun stuff, and was just having a good time with it. And then in March of 2017, I lost a good friend in the fire service that worked in my department to suicide, and it just really hit me. That number one, I had never gone to a firefighter's funeral, but now I'm going to one, and it was due to a suicide. So it wasn't even, a job-related issue, so to speak. I mean, there's a lot of issues that come from the job that put us in the mental health aspect that we're in, but it wasn't a fire, it wasn't an accident, it wasn't anything crazy, but it was, he died by his own hand. So I just got really just intrigued in that because I have an undergrad in psychology, so stuff like that just really interests me. So really, I just started doing some research, as I'm continuing Next Rung, and I'm seeing that this is an issue everywhere. It's not just our department, but this is something that's happening across the United States as a whole, that really firemen are dying more by their own hand than they are to the job a lot of years, which is really sad. So it just made me start to look at that and take interest in it. And I brought Charlie Brown on, which is one of our
cool name, by the way.
Yes,
super cool name.
Real name, Charlie Brown. There's like a bajillion of them. So, so I brought Charlie on, and we just started, working through this. What do we really want to do? Physical health is a big thing in the fire service, and people did a really good job at taking care of that issue. There were pages out there that were already, really encouraging people to be physically fit on the job. But we didn't really see anything that was geared towards the mental health aspect of it. So we decided that instead of giving money back to a nonprofit, that we would become that nonprofit and put our money where our mouth is. Cool. So we filed for a nonprofit status in 2017, and we got a letter on December 28th. I'll never forget it, and it says, "You are a nonprofit now." So signed, sealed,
welcome to government red tape.
Approved. And we filed after that for a 501c3 status, and we became a nonprofit, and our goal is to help one person, and we figured if we did that, then we were doing a good job. And to date, we've helped over 2,500 firefighters and first responders through our organization. And, to look back at that is just, it's really encouraging, and it makes you thankful that you're here. I'm not going to say I'm thankful for what we have to go through and what we deal with, but man, I've always told people, like, if there's something that is happening, I want to be a part of it, and I figured this is a way I could be a part of the solution and just leave this job better than what I found it. So that's what we've been doing, and the way that we do that is a couple of different ways. The first thing is through peer support, which is just one-on-one conversation like you and I are having right now. It's just talking to someone that that you don't really have to explain everything to. So everyone that serves on our peer support team is a firefighter, first responder, and they're getting someone just like them when they text us or they call us, and they can just walk through whatever it is that they're facing at the moment, whether it's on-the-job issues or off-the-job issues. It's never just one thing. It's not just the calls that we run. It's not, I mean, it's not that. Like, a lot of people think, well, man, you see so much. Yeah, we do, but honestly, like, we do a pretty good job. I feel like at making it through that for the most part. Like, there were some tough calls.
Sometimes with humor.
The dark humor. There's lots of dark humor. I mean, but a lot of times we're pretty good at walking through that and making sure that we can cope with it. Sometimes it's not in the most healthy way. Alcohol is huge in the fire service, which it can be an issue. But man, we get to go back. We get to talk about it. Some stuff messes with you a little bit more. But that's why we're here, just so people can talk through that stuff. But then the things on top of that, man, leadership is such a huge issue in the fire service. The schedule, the sleep deprivation. Then you have the financial aspect of, like, most firemen work 2 jobs, dude. Like, they're just getting burnt out. And then you have all the real life issues that you deal with in your personal life. So there's just so much that really contributes to why they might reach out and need Next Rung as a resource. So peer support is just one-on-one conversation. So they can call us, text us, whatever is convenient for them, and we'll walk with them through that and just help them, figure out a way to kind of cope with it and move through that issue. And then on top of that, what we do is we connect people back to professional resources. So they might need a counselor, and that's one of the things that we determine as we're talking with that person. Okay, is peer support going to be enough, or do they need more help outside of what we can offer? And if they do, we'll connect them back to a professional resource, whether that's a counselor or a treatment center. We aren't professionals. We just care about people, and we want to make sure that they're taken care of. So we also provide financial assistance for those things. We're, acute care is what I tell people. We're not the long-term care. We don't help people over years and years, but we get them in front of someone and say, hey, you got to get help, and this is a good person to do that with. So we vet all the counselors that we send them to. The same thing with treatment centers. And, I was talking about earlier, man, alcoholism is a huge issue in the fire service as a whole. It's one of the ways that we tend to like to cope with things, because you can go home and drink and forget about it, and that's not the healthy way, obviously. And sometimes it's, that gets us into a bind, or maybe it's just our mental health as a whole that gets us there. But no matter what it is that they're struggling with, we can help get them to a professional resource, take care of them, and provide that financial assistance for those things. So that's where the nonprofit, status comes in. People support us all the time. They buy apparel, and we do events throughout the year. People just donate online.
Apparel, which is sick. Like, if you don't like firefighters at all, go on nextrung.com, and, like, it's still unbelievable cool looking stuff. Like,
thanks, yeah,
that
was the goal. It's like, how do we attract to everyone, because we can overwhelm the fire service, but we really want the community and the people outside that maybe just have a heart for those who serve locally to be a part of that and give back. But they can also wear the merchandise.
Starter. People ask me, they're like, "Oh, are you a firefighter?" I'm like, do I look like I climb ladders? Look at me, I'm huge. But I'm like, no, and then I get to talk about it, which is really cool. So it kind of sparks the conversation because the branding's so cool, and the logo's so
and that's
cool.
Where the name came from. Like, I didn't want it to be something where you knew exactly what we were. Not that that's not cool, but people look at Next Rung, especially in the fire service, like, oh, you must be an instructor of some sort. You have like a cadre that you teach with. I'm like, I do, but that's not what Next Rung is. And then I go into explaining that. And the idea came from ground ladders. I love ground ladders, and it's just a big tool that we use in an emergency, a fire or whatever it might be. Like, ground ladders are a means of entry, but it's also a means of egress, because sometimes we will go into a building and we get into positions where maybe we got to get a victim out on that ladder, or maybe that ladder is there for us to escape a sketchy situation that's going on up there. Whether, fires cut you off or, conditions change, whatever it might be. But ground ladders are super important. And, that's where the idea of Next Rung came from. It's the idea of every rung that you step up, the next rung that you take, it changes your perspective, and it just allows you to see things a little bit different. And that's our goal is, man, let's just inch forward, one foot in front of the other. And I just tell people, we just got to keep moving forward and do everything that we can on our side. And we promise that we're going to help you out and make sure that you're taken care of.
That's awesome. I never thought about it until like even the first take of this podcast. I never thought about it as kind of like a gateway. Like, because for, let's say like, I was a touring musician, and like I may not have gone, like if I was struggling with that life or whatever, like I probably wouldn't have just gone straight to a therapist or straight to a counselor. But if there was a musician buddy of mine who was like, hey, you want to chat? Like, and we talked, and he was like, hey, I know this guy, like you need to talk to somebody. Like, I feel like I would have been way more open to doing that than just going straight, like, not jumping off the stair, but taking a step.
Well, no one knows it better than you do. I mean, like that's the idea is when you talk to someone that understands it because they've been there and they're living that lifestyle, or they've been there in the past, then dude, it's so easy not to have to break down barriers or explain yourself. And it's the same thing with counselors, like we get what we call culturally competent counselors, like people that you're not going to make cry when you go and tell them your stories, because that's what we started. Like, all this was trial by fire. I mean, how we developed this, it was
no pun intended.
Pun intended. We wanted to start something, but we didn't want to just be awareness. Like, anyone can raise awareness. I didn't want to be empty words without action. So, I look at that biblically as well. As, I mean, your faith without actions is dead. So, I mean, our words without action behind them were just going to be, something that anyone else could do. So we just decided, like, all right, man, let's start Google number and tell people they can call us or text us. And that's how it all started, man. And we're just figuring it out as we go. The nonprofit world's a little hairy, just a lot of red tape, like you were saying earlier. And then it's, we just have learned literally everything that we've done since doing it over the past 8 years. So
that's so awesome. Y'all are killing it. And it's, I don't know, it's inspiring. It's cool. Like, and it's pretty, 2,500 guys, guys and girls, firefighters that you guys have talked with, but, you look at it and it's probably 5 to 10-fold that, because of the people that you've impacted. You had a guy who was contemplating, suicide, and, through reaching out to you guys was able not to, and then has a family of 4, and then that family has a family. And then, like, you guys are affecting generations, like, by helping these guys and gals. And it's so important what you guys are doing. So I hope. And
that's the idea is, we're here for the firefighter, for the first responder. And I always say firefighter first because that's what I am. So naturally that comes up first. But we help fire, EMS, occasionally police officers. There's resources out there for them as well. And we'll get 911 operators, whoever it is. We want to help them as they come in, but not just them. We want to help their entire family. We always tell people, hey, we're here for your whole family, your immediate family, your spouse, your children, because we do want to heal the whole household. Because like you said, man, everybody's impacted by that. Like, you can't look at it and there's no way to escape it, whether it's the schedule, I mean, like, you miss holidays, you miss birthdays, mom and dad might come home that day and they're just a little bit different because it was a long shift, or they had something, terrible happen, and they just gotta, just take a moment to pause, or, be quiet for a little while. So we know that it does impact everyone, especially, the spouse and children, man. They see it all. They get the good and the bad with it.
It's so killer, man. It's such an unbelievable thing. So obviously, I encourage everybody who's listening, go buy some stuff off nextrung.com. Donate if you can. .org. Sorry, I forgot. It's a nonprofit. So you're .org. Yeah, nextrung.org. Obviously I don't have to buy off the website. I buy direct from the source. So there's that. Except this new hat that you've got that I don't have. That
I do.
I have such
some new camo hats out.
My head is so huge, though. I have to have the largest
special
hat.
Order.
Yeah, literally, my friend of mine And Rutledge has got a store, and she prints all these cool hats, and she always like, here. I'm like, I literally can't wear it. So she ordered one hat.
Yeah.
It's like the biggest hat made apparently, and it fits my head. And I'm like, that's awesome.
I thought I had a big head until I met you,
bro. Well, and it's crazy. Like, there are a lot of hats that do fit. I probably have 300 hats.
Well, you also got some luscious locks too, so I know it varies with that.
Because I can wear that hat when I buzz my head.
Yeah.
But the second my hair starts to grow, it just ruins everything.
Yeah.
It's terrible. So most of the time I cut my hair just because I want access to the other 150 hats that I have that I can't wear currently. So it's ridiculous.
You do love hats. I love hats too, man. Like, I feel like we're kindred spirits on that. But
oh yeah.
When we went fishing a couple weeks ago, you bought at least 2 hats that I know of.
Oh yeah, I bought 2 hats on a 3-day trip. I am upset. My dad's the same way. He literally has trash bags filled with hats, and I have Rubbermaid containers of hats that I've worn so much I can't wear anymore. But I bet I've got 300 hats in my bedroom right now.
Dude, the bad part is I find myself wearing the same few because the other ones get forgotten about, and then I'll find them like, oh, I need to hang on to that, and then
this is my first.
Then I get new ones in. I'm like, oh, I want to wear the new ones.
This is number 1. First time I've worn this hat, I picked it up.
Nice.
I was like, matches my shirt. So here we go. Normally I have my flat bill Georgia hat on. It's kind of what I'm known for. But well, how does, and maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, maybe they don't ever interact. Like, I would assume that you being in ministry affects Next Rung, but does, like, you're in student ministry, you and Natalie, your wife, and you guys do a phenomenal job at it. You guys are, beyond crushing it at the church. It's one of the fastest growing pieces of our church. But does, I can see how one affects the other. Does the Next Rung side and you talking and counseling and working with all these firefighters, like, is there stuff that you've taken from that's helped you with just general trauma from students and all that? Because I will say, like, our generation does a lot wrong, like, especially the generations after me and you. We're in, what are we? You're millennial too, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're millennials. And what's the next one? Is it Gen X?
Dude,
what are they?
Yeah, it's got to be Gen X or what's Generation Z?
Maybe it is Gen Z. It's Gen Z. Yeah, that's what all the memes are. So, like, I feel like that generation there's a lot. We could have a 12 episode 2 hour a piece on all the stuff going wrong in that generation. But one thing that they have done well is recognize mental health, and, like, I feel like they're a lot more open and available to talking about struggles and issues, whereas we're kind of in the, like, box it up and let it die generation. And of course, like, the further back you go, the worse it gets. Like,
we're really a good a mixture of both. You got some millennials that won't talk about it, and then you got some that do. We're on that cusp, man. That's really weird. Obviously, our parents and the ones that come before us, man, like, it was bottle it up, shove it to the back of your mind, and you don't speak of it. Like, that's like, even like some old hats, in the fire service are still that way. It's changing, but it's for sure was definitely that way. Like, my dad was a fireman, dude. I don't remember him talking about stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they didn't.
Only time I ever heard my dad, Hank, my dad's buddy, he would talk about it, like, but it was always like you were talking about. It was in that, like, wild humor,
right?
Like, I remember, like, I'm not giving away, like, any trade secrets. Obviously, like, people know firefighters, like, joke, but I think they had left a pretty rough accident on I-85 because he worked Atlanta, which is, 285, 85, 75, just nightmare. Mm-hmm. And he said that there was, like, a really bad car fire, and he was like, what do you guys want to do for lunch? Like, smoky bones. I don't know why that stuck with me, but he told me that when I was, like, 8 years old, and I still remember to this day.
Yeah. Dude, it is legit that way. It makes me think of one of the calls that we ran, and unfortunately this guy died. It was this guy came barreling through. I don't know if he fell asleep or what. He was in an 18-wheeler and then just no brakes at all and hit the 18-wheeler in front of him. And I remembered, it was a good fire, man. We put it out. The guy didn't make it, but It's funny because it's funny to me, but like if you're in the fire service, like you get it. It's just like you don't mean to laugh at it because you're ruthless, but I don't. We literally put the fire out. We get the guy, put him in a body bag, and literally like we're done putting him in the body bag, and we go eat Chick-fil-A that they brought to us on 285 because that's just all right, man. It's time to eat. You know what I mean? I'm like, sweet Chick-fil-A right after you rip a burned up body out of a tractor trailer. So that's it's not funny. I don't mean to laugh, but it's just
that's the only thing that like firefighter and cop shows, I think they get everything wrong. It's all wrong. But the one thing they get right is it's when like there's a horrific death in the show.
Yeah.
And they're all like whatever. And then like the new guy or like someone who has nothing to do with first responder walks in, they're like puking in the corner, and all the other guys are like just laughing. I'm like, that's real
dark humor, dude. Like you were talking about earlier.
That's how a lot of people deal with things, and I feel like that. Like I feel like I use humor like that just to deal with just like normal issues. Yeah. Like I feel like maybe it's a guy trait. I know there's like female firefighters. I'm not saying we're not like just focusing on the men here, but I know guys deal with stuff obviously
differently,
totally completely differently. Which in some ways kind of I mean that's our job. We're supposed to shoulder everything, and we can't be too dramatic about stuff. We just gotta make a horrific joke and go on about our day and deal with it silently for years to come.
It's nice to be able to have people to talk to, and that is changing in so many different in different ways, but it's nice to at least talk to someone who knows and understands, that can, like, I know why you're laughing, you know what I mean? I remember that specifically. I remember a guy calling in on the helpline. He actually serves on our peer support team now, but it was just like steps away from taking his life, and I was like, man, just walk me through what's going on. And so he tells me everything that's going on, like there's a lot of stressors in life, and he's like, dude, I went to a counselor and I made the counselor cry. And I was like, well, what did you tell her? And so he like walks me back through the call, and I giggled just like that, like a little chuckle, and he's like, did you just laugh? And I was like, crap.
Yeah.
He's like, I was like, yeah. He's like, dude, that's awesome. You know what I mean? He's like, that's what I needed. He's like, the last person I told that to, I made him cry. And so, we do understand that.
If you're a therapist or a counselor and you're crying about other people's problems, you may need to. It's like the show Shrinking with what's his face. It's like he gets way too involved, and it's like you got to block that off. And I mean, I'm not an expert here, but I don't think if I came to you with a serious problem and you're weeping across the table
you end up
from me, I'm like,
them.
I don't know, man. I feel like I may be making a different choice on who I'm talking to.
Who's counseling who at this point? But full circle to bring it back to what you were asking, when it relates to student ministry, I believe it's helped so much with conversations. I'm not the greatest conversationalist. I don't think that's a word, but we're going to use it anyway.
It's a word.
I'm not the greatest at one-on-one. I've really forced myself to be that way, but I truly believe that these conversations that I have with so many people and being able to do that over the past several years has helped me just really dig into stuff and approach things and just be open with stuff, because the truth is if you bring up suicide or you bring up things in conversation, it's not going to make that person think about killing themselves or whatever it might be, or addressing the difficult things. Like I don't know that I would skirt around things. I just was nervous to talk about stuff like that. How do you maneuver this conversation? And now, dude, I don't think twice about it. It's just one of those things that I'm okay with, and we can talk about anything, and it's not going to surprise me. Like the fire service has been so good for me, because I was in ministry before I went to the fire service, and man, I'm a completely different person being in the fire service over the past 12 years versus, who I was when I first started ministry. In some of the best ways, it just allows me to approach things head on. Like I don't push things off. Like let's go, baby. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna address this. We're gonna come to a conclusion, or something's gonna happen. We're gonna make it happen, whatever it has to, whatever has to be done, or whatever that looks like. And I'm grateful for that.
If I had to describe you to somebody, I would say you have a calm directness, but I would say I have an aggressive directness that I'm obviously trying to calm down. But you have a way, like when you say that, I think about it. I've seen multiple situations just in life with you, not necessarily ministry or fire service, but just like counseling other people, even like guys our age or older. Like you're just, hey, we need to sit and talk about this. I'm going to be direct. Like, don't really care if you like what I have to say or not. I'm telling you this out of love, and like, it is what it is. Like, but you have a way. But I think the place I struggle is like I tend to come off like very aggressive. Like, look, you're being an idiot. Like, you have a way of, I think through Next Rung, like it's kind of maybe shaped that in you, which that's what because to me that's the epidemic in student ministry is the youth pastor trying to be cool and like. We're not really going to talk about this stuff in depth. And you're like, no, we're going to discuss it. And like, I'm going to explain to you why this is stupid and why you should stop doing this and et cetera, et cetera. And I feel like you can see that in the leaders in your student ministry. I think about guys like Leighton, like all these, these leaders who are coming out who are very direct, no beating around the bush, but they have like a very calm and like soothing way of doing it where it's not like you don't feel like you're being attacked. I think that's and I saw the other day there was like a situation and Blake, I wasn't here, but Blake had to go like handle a situation and I was like, man, I'm glad it was Blake. Like I would have come off very, very nasty in this situation and very,
in
very
my mind,
upset.
dude, sometimes like I still have reservations like, crap, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Man,
like
I don't
that's
wanna
where
talk
my
about
mind
this.
goes like, why do I have to do this today? But it's okay, like again, man, used to I wouldn't have been that way, but it really has helped in all aspects, just dealing with parents and dealing with students and people are difficult sometimes, but we're going to be here for it and just be honest and I don't know if I say unapologetically honest, but I think most of the time that's probably the case, man.
No, it is.
Like we just, hey, this is it, man. This is life, and here we are.
Because in the long run, it's going to pay off. It may be some short-term pain. Obviously there's still situations, like I've had a situation, with friends and stuff where it's like, if they're never going to change, nothing's ever going to happen, and it's like a friendship thing. It's like, what, we'll just deal with it. It's not worth hitting head on because there's not going to be any change there. But like, you're obviously like molding and like, shaping students who, are coming to student ministry wanting direction.
Yeah.
Like, you don't go to student ministry, you think you got everything figured out and you're the coolest kid on the block. Like, you're going to student ministry because you're like, hey, I look up to these people who are leading. Like, I'm trying to learn through them and understand this stuff. And, it's such a cool thing. Man.
Yeah, I think
it's cool how both worlds are.
I think it's helped me to
together.
listen better. Natalie might beg to differ on that, but I do think it's helped me to listen more and not also go straight to fixing things like a man naturally does.
Oh, yeah.
I still want to do that, but I have
let me
to
tell you
look
why
at it and
what
say,
you should have done. Like,
okay, how do we
nope.
approach this without saying this is how you fix it, but just maneuvering through that with them and saying, hey, man, here's just the truth. Like, this is what you're going to have to do in order to stop whatever this is or to overcome whatever's going on. So, yeah, man, it's a lot of that. Especially when they get into high school, it's a little more of that specifically.
Yeah. I remember, I did, a lot of people don't know, but I did student ministry for, 7 years, and it was, high school was, I had a group, buddy. I had a group. There were a bunch that were great kids, but, I had a couple that, a couple times I had to get pretty real pretty quick, just acting crazy. But, part of life. That's what happens. But,
that's right.
I would say the thing that with you that I realized, I'd always thought very highly of the fire service, obviously, and all of that. And, I don't mean to harp on the fire service because that's not your identity, but it's just, it's what you do. But when you, like, a lot of people who are listening to this, if you know Blake at all, like, Blake had a horrific accident in January. It was New Year's Day, wasn't it?
New Year's Eve, yeah.
New Year's Eve, that's right, New Year's Eve. And it was very bone chilling because literally 20 minutes, maybe it was 10 minutes before he wrecked. Natalie and my wife were on the phone just talking about how, like, man, 2025 is going to be a lot like calmer year than this year, and we're not going to have like we're going to kind of like take a breath. And they were just like talking on the phone about how great it was going to be, and then literally like 25 minutes later, we get a phone call that no friend, no one wants to get. But I feel like during your accident, which, I'll let you talk about and what all happened and how that was, but the outpouring of the fire service was crazy to me. Like,
Mind-blowing.
and I don't think I understood like how big of an impact that you've had on the fire service, and I know you would downplay it, but like, because I wasn't on social media at all at the time, but I remember Jenny, like, Facebook was like organizations all over the U.S., like Blake Stinnett, like it was like this massive thing. Like you couldn't turn around without a firefighter talking about Blake's accident, and then me and Jenny go to the hospital, and there's firefighters from, where was he from? Texas. Was that where that guy was from? You might not even remember. It was early on, but like there was a guy from Texas. There were people flying in from all over the place. Like it was crazy. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And you talking about a band of brothers and people who stick together, and it was incredible to see. So it's cool that I feel like through your entire service and everything that you do, you've poured in and poured in and poured in. And obviously the accident was terrible. Wish it hadn't happened. But I would assume through that you kind of maybe, I don't know for the first time, but really felt the impact you've made, and maybe feeling a little bit of that coming back. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Whoa. So New Year's Eve.
Yeah, New Year's
You're
Eve.
on your first shift with the new fire department.
Third shift there.
Third shift.
So if you're like, what's going on? Like, so I work in ministry. I've been in full-time fire service for nearly 12 years, and stepped down, went part-time with the fire service and full-time at the church, and just a crazy transition over the past couple of years career-wise, and what that looks like. And sorry, our pastor just walked in. Can we say this? I don't know. Anyway,
now we have to, because people are gonna be like, "What?" No,
he just walked in with his shirt off. I don't like. Yep. That's Danny Harrell.
It happened.
So, all that to say
that
is,
was amazing. Okay.
I was working that day, working New Year's Eve. So I just started with this department. Been there for 3 shifts, and working New Year's Eve. I always like to work holidays because, again, I'm the person. Like, if something's going to happen, I want to be there.
Yep.
So potentially with New Year's Eve, you
have FOMO
get
in the worst kind of FOMO.
People set their houses on fire with fireworks. Like, it just happens. You know what I mean? So I was like, man, this will be a great day to work. It'll be pretty chill, and then I'll go hang out with the family on New Year's Day. So, man, it had been a great shift. We ran some calls, and just finished a nice steak dinner. I literally just poured a cup of coffee that I got 3 sips out of, maybe, and it was a brush fire that bangs out. And so we're at, another station, another firehouse. They lead out in front of us, and we're, right behind them. And it's just a super windy day, like wind gusts that had hit 35 miles an hour plus.
I remember that. It was
just kind of blowing us all over the place. And I always I drive a Jeep Wrangler, and it's a box on wheels. Like, it pushes you around. Like, the wind just does that. Yep. It's the same thing in a fire truck, and it's just a big square. It's got a lot of weight. I mean, 1,000 gallons of water just to start with, and then all the tools and stuff like that. But wind gusts were just whipping through, and the back tires on the apparatus were not wearing super well, so it just wasn't the best situation, man. It was a perfect storm, really, is what it was. So we're responding there in front of us, and a wind gust comes through, it hits us, and it pushes us off the road. And when I go to bring it back on the road, there's a decent shoulder, I guess, if you will, a soft shoulder, and so the road is several inches above, where the shoulder starts. And so I bring it back on, it grabs a tire, and it slings us over to the other side, and we hit, a few clusters of trees, and it rips my door off, and I mean, just destroys the apparatus. I mean, it's I didn't see it. I mean, I knew. I didn't know what it looked like until about 4 days later, but I just remember as it finally comes to a standstill, right? We're done moving. I mean, it happened fast, but I remember as it came to a standstill, I look at my buddy that's working with me. His name's Blake, also Blake Bell, and I was like, "Hey, dude, when you radio over again," I was like, "Tell him I broke my femur," and he's like, "Are you for real?" Yeah, dude. I mean, I can feel it withdrawing, in my leg, and So he radios back over, and the AC and everything's on top of the apparatus, and so it's just blowing. I'm just thinking to myself, I don't want this thing to catch on fire, and if it does, I don't want to be inside of it. So I'm trying to get out. I start taking my seatbelt off, and I try to reach down with my left leg, and I notice that it's not working. I try to do that a few times before I finally just decide that I'm going to sit down on the floorboard. So I finally go from my seat down to the floorboard, and then from the floorboard, I take the seatbelt and I let myself out onto the ground, and Blake comes back around and drags me back up to the road. But my injuries I sustained were a fractured sternum. I broke my elbow, my radius, and ulna. And I broke my femur in 2 spots, broke my fibula, and then tore my calf muscle. And no head injuries, no spinal injuries. Like, it really is a miracle. I call it a little pocket of heaven, and I'm just so grateful that there was no more that happened. But all that to say, man, it was a lot, and it still is. 7 months out of it, I guess, or almost 7 months out of it, and still just working to recover from those things. But I had 4 surgeries, nearly bled to death, and got a lot of units of blood just from surgeries, and from the blood that escaped through my femur. And man, it was just a rough thing, but I'll never forget it for as long as I live. When Blake drives me back up to the road, there's a guy named Chris Mobley. You've met Chris before.
I know Chris.
Just an amazing guy as a whole. Really great. He's a legend. Really great. Yeah, a legend. Really great. Just a great man, and he loves the Lord. He's a paramedic and does really great at his job. And he wasn't even working that day. He had just flown back in from out of town. He was picking his truck up, and he saw the text message come across, and he's like, I'm not far. I'll go over there. And I remember him coming up, and he's cutting my clothes off of me, starting IVs, and they get me into the back of the ambulance. And this dude pulls out this little bottle of oil and anoints me in oil and prays over me on the way to them taking me to the airport to get into a helicopter to be flown down to Augusta to get treatment. And man, I'm so grateful for that, just to have people that love you and care about you, to the point where they'll pray with you in the back of an ambulance, in the middle of that. And I'm also just the person too, like, I was cracking jokes, man. Like, I was like, this is all I got left, all I have is my humor right now. So I made a few little jokes, and things like that when they're cutting my clothes off, and they're just like, dude, should I laugh at you right now? I'm like,
yes,
come on, dude.
You
yes,
have to. Yeah.
That's all I got. So, but yeah, just a gnarly accident. And I didn't cry through the entire thing, which still amazes me.
That's mind-blowing.
But I remember seeing the photo of the fire truck, and that's the first time I shed a tear, because looking at it, I don't understand outside of just knowing who the Lord is, like how I'm alive, number one. But then you look at it even further, and I don't know how I didn't have more injuries than what I did. And it's just the Lord, man. Like, that's what I tell people all the time. Like, that's why I call it a pocket of heaven. I was like, the Lord was just really watching out for me, and just protecting me through that. And looking at it, kind of came out with some sucky injuries, but man, I'm still here. I'm still alive. I can walk with a cane right now. I'm trying to get off that thing. Who knows? It might be around for a little while, but that's okay.
Cane,
even if I had to walk around like this for the rest of my life, I'm still here. I get to be with my wife and my children, and to do all the things that I still love to do. So, but yeah, that's the accident, and it just has changed so much about how I look at life. And you ask yourself, are the things I'm doing worth the time and investment that you put into it? Because I think we all have hard times, in whatever that looks like, whether it's our job or, volunteering at something, or ministry, or, the nonprofit Next Rung. And dude, I've poured so much time and effort into it, and that's not like, good for you, but it's, a lot of times you're like, okay, is it really worth it? Like, you just ask yourself that question at times, because it's just what you do. And I tell you what, man, I don't think I will ever ask that question again. Just the love and support that came from that was mind blowing.
It was crazy.
I can't tell everyone thank you enough for what they did. I mean, Natalie was receiving phone calls within minutes of the accident, because everybody was already finding out about it. Like, she's like, how do you know about this? Like, we had people flying in from California. Jennifer Henderson's one of those. She actually serves on our team at Next Rung, and she is an incredible person as a whole, but she also helps with our fundraising and different events that we do, and just does a lovely job with Next Rung. But then on top of that, you know, like, you build up your team with great people, and when something happens, dude, they don't even think about it. They just show up. So Jennifer flew in from California, showed up at her house, just takes over everything there. Charlie flies in from California and comes and hangs out at the hospital. And then we had people from all over, like people that are local, just dropping by to check on us. Fundraisers, like, I mean, like John Sparrow is a close friend of mine, like started a fundraiser, and it just, man, I could go on and on about how incredible it was, but people,
it was an
really
explosion
took care of us.
of people. Like, it was, I remember there was a wait. I've never gone to see someone in the hospital and there was a wait. I was like, can I get a fast pass? What's going on here? Like, there was literally people, they had taken chairs, I don't even know if you know, like, out of the waiting room, and had just lined them down the hallway. And it was like family after family after family. And then, you know, someone would go back and see you, but then all these families were talking like, well, how do you know Blake? And how do you know Blake? And I was like, it was wild, man. Like, and then and it just kept going. And I thought it was so cool when Charlie flew in. We were in the middle of building this building when all this happened. And it was at the night. I can't remember if it was a Saturday night before our first service in the building.
Yeah, it was like everybody was gathering in here.
Yeah, and you were still in Augusta.
Yeah,
you hadn't been transferred here yet, and Charlie came, and it was weird. Like, normally, like, you know, in every room, like, we're the leaders, and we're the people who people turn to, or we're the people that people turn to. So, like, there's a horrific tragedy in our county or around, people are at the church turning to us, and we're the ones who are, you know, speaking at that stuff. And, you know, I'm leading worship at these, you know, these horrific, you know, funerals and all this stuff. And in that moment, it was so cool. I remember Danny was just kind of standing there, and, you know, it was Danny and Shantae, and, you know, the rest of the staff was sitting, and Charlie stood up, and he just, like, went into this speech. I think we had you on FaceTime. That's right. Danny FaceTimed you. And it was so cool watching him just kind of like pray and talk over you, and then he just kind of like talked to our staff, and like, I mean, I'm not going to get into everything he said, but it was such a cool
neat,
thing
man.
to see. Not only these people in the fire service and in your world supporting you and Natalie, but also then turning, and they were like worried about all of us, like, you know, the staff and like your friends, like they were paying attention to us. It was unbelievable support, like I've never seen.
Both worlds collided, you know, very, very well together, and they always have. But it's really neat to see that actually happen. I mean, I take Jesus with me everywhere, and the fire service has made me up to who I am. So obviously those worlds collide, but, you know, Next Rung in the church, and, you know, Charlie being here, yeah, dude, he was blown away by everything here. He's like, dude, it's so amazing here. He's like, you're so blessed to have all the things that you have, and you know, that's really encouraging.
If he's listening to this,
I told him to move, dude.
We're bringing you to Georgia. You're coming to
church with us every Sunday.
Yep. And then after that, you got transferred. You talking about, it was just like miracle after miracle. Like, Blake gets transferred for rehab to the hospital that literally, if I had my potato launcher still from high school, I could hit the hospital from here. Yeah. I mean, it's literally a stone's throw away. Gets transferred to there, which is crazy. And then, I mean, now obviously, like you said, you're walking with a cane, but I mean, you went fishing last week. Like,
we did. That was a lot of fun.
Went on the beach last week. Like, you're on the road.
I'm moving. It hurts a lot. So, it's funny, man, because people are like, "Oh, you look so good." I'm like, "Yeah, I think I look good, but
but you spend multiple days.
Body still hurts, you know. Like,
you spend multiple days with Blake.
It.
You know, at night,
slow down a little
when
bit.
that leg swells up and you're not feeling
making
good.
My old man sounds.
Yeah,
you know, groaning or whatever.
You do a really good job at not being a baby.
I try not
that's
to,
for
man.
sure. Because
just move through it.
Yeah, if you just saw Blake on Sunday morning, you'd be like, dude, he's good to go. Everything's good. And then you know, we were doing a lot. I mean, we were on the beach, we were in a boat, we were fishing. There was a lot of movement. So, I mean, everyone was sore. I mean, just being, like, at our age, like, we were just all sore. You were really sore, and you were I remember you were sitting in the chair and I was like, oh my gosh, his leg's all swollen up. So, I mean, you're still dealing with it. It's not like it's just gone. You've got a lot of rehab ahead of you, but
still some more to go. We're getting
killing
close,
it.
though. I'm trying, man. If I can get rid of this cane, that's going to be a great day if I can just walk on two legs without
I was just sad you got rid. I was so happy you got rid of the walker, but you had customized it and made it so awesome.
He
had a bike bell on it.
Yeah.
Didn't you have a side mirror?
I did. I had a side mirror on it.
See, so there's a humor.
A cup holder.
It was awesome, man. And then now you got the plain
out.
cane. I said you needed to get one of those 22, those gun canes. That
Dude, I special ordered a cane and the guy canceled my order. It had like a little dagger in it about this long. Dude, I was ready.
So if you're listening, you've disappointed. What a disappointment you are for doing that.
Thanks for nothing.
Yeah. What was it on Etsy?
No, it was like some random website. I think maybe he had the wrong price on it, and I caught him. You know what I mean? Like it was like $40, and
dude,
it was a handmade cane with the dagger in it. I was like,
what a scam!
This is a great price, and maybe he just didn't put a 1 in front of it or something. I don't know.
And then
he canceled my order, so now I'm still searching.
And so the other day, like I was telling people, I was like, I know I shouldn't have felt embarrassed, but I was like embarrassed. I got in a not fun car accident. I was driving my truck, 6-day-old truck. We did get. You rode in it more than as much as me. We literally bought it and then took it to Florida and back. It had one trip, and I was driving down the road and someone pulled out 10 feet in front of me and I hit him.
After just having a new.
Oh yeah, insult to injury. I just pulled out of a place here, Madison Car Care. Just got a brand new roll top, brand new hitch receipt. Just like had put all the stuff on the truck. Pull out and hit a car, rolled 3 times, which if you're familiar with F-250s, that doesn't happen ever. Truck completely totaled. Nobody would walk up to the truck that was a witness because, in their words, they didn't want to see a dead body through the windshield. And, walked away with horrific seatbelt injuries. And I was literally, imagine me hanging. I was like hanging sideways with the seatbelt, just going, I need help. Someone get me out. Like I was trying to get out so bad because it was just... It hurt hanging. And it was crazy. We're like racing to the hospital, and you were, 5 minutes behind. Blake was like almost beat us there, 5-10 minutes behind us. And you got Blake sitting over there with his cane, and I'm sitting in the bed with Ivy, and I'm like, oh, I can't breathe. All the airbag dust. And I look over, I'm like, all right, I just got to man up. Like I can't be acting like this. Like Blake is, Blake's here. So
dude, everybody, it doesn't matter what's going on.
It was wild. Yeah. Two complete literal miracles to be alive.
Absolutely.
Me and you and everyone who's seen both act. It was. There's zero reason I should be alive looking at my truck.
Man.
And it's weird. Like most people don't know someone who's been in a traumatic car accident, and like. A member of our lead team here, Millage Wells, just phenomenal guy. Like he was in a horrific car accident, spent I think almost a year in the Shepherd Center in Atlanta rehabbing, and then the week before, another guy at our church rolled his vehicle, broke his back. You had obviously your horrific accident, like I had mine. Like it's weird. I'm not connecting dots or doing anything here. I'm just saying it's very strange, like the amount of people. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just with a church this size, and we're not. I don't know, but it's just I know a lot of people who've had horrific car accidents, and everyone who's close to me is like, "Oh, I've never even known anyone to be in an accident as bad as you." And I'm like, "What?" Like, I got 5 people that I could talk to on Sunday that have been in accidents this bad. It's just. Yeah. Honestly, it's just
dude, I texted Danny on the way to see you at the hospital, and I was like, what the crap is going on?
Dude, I know.
It's like Satan is pissed at our church. Like he hates everything going on, but
hates it.
Danny being who he is, he's always great, and he's like, dude, but the Lord continues to be, he continues providing all of it. I was like,
dude, what a guy. He called me on the way to the hospital. I think he was having one of his like days off where he cuts his phone off, and like his wife's got her phone on as like an emergency because it came up on the screen. Like racing the hospital, we just dropped the kids off because the county we live in only has like 1 ambulance or whatever. So they were like, the other person's way worse off. Like you need, like your wife, you feel comfortable taking him? And my wife was like, yeah. And they were like, you need to go. So we went, and
I think they were still out of town, actually.
Yeah, and they were. That's right.
Yeah.
They were still out of town. He didn't have his phone on and called, and he was like, "Y'all don't close your eyes. Y'all keep driving, but can I pray over you?" And he just like prayed in the car, and it's cool with the leadership of our church, like because of the way that he is. Like that's the kind of pastor he is, and I don't think I've told this story to friends, but I haven't told it publicly. So when my grandfather was dying, everybody who knows me knows I was unbelievably close to my grandfather. Traveled the world together, talked every day. He was in his last week. Yeah, it was the last week he was alive, and we all knew, he was dying. And my grandma calls, and she's like, "Hey, Danny just left." I was like, it didn't ring. I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "No, Danny Harold just left. Like your pastor, Danny. He drove," which if you know anything about Atlanta, getting from where we are to Johns Creek is, it's the worst drive in America. Like, I don't care what people in DC say. It's horrific. Drove all the way up there, sat with my grandfather, talked with him for a long time, prayed with him, all that. And, that's the kind of leadership. Me and Blake are very, very, I've worked at a bunch of churches. I know Blake has too. Like we're very lucky to be in the environment and have the leadership that we have. Obviously, like I said, I walked out of my, was able to walk out of my accident and didn't, no major internal bones broken or organs hurt. Like, I'm badly bruised up and I don't feel good and all that mess. But, and then Blake with his, like we've had unbelievable support, and the way that our church acts and the way that our church responds to stuff is obviously due to the way he is and kind of what he's taught and done with our church. And it's cool. Like we keep saying it. Like I know I've said it 100 times. I'm really tired of the way that we're getting opportunities to serve our community and to help.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they're turning to us when that stuff is happening. Like I wish it was, less severe stuff, but I just feel like we just keep getting hit. And we haven't had a month. Maybe we've had a 1 month in the last year that there hasn't been a big traumatic thing happen, to someone in our church.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, man. There's
tired of it.
Yeah, there's always something.
We need a break. We need 1 month.
Definitely was not the chill year that Natalie and Jenny were talking about.
What a literally, Jenny comes in crying. She's like, "Oh my God!" But like she was like pain. She was like, "I was just talking to Natalie. We were just talking about how this year was going to be calm, and now we don't even we didn't know any details. We just knew horrific. Like we don't know if Blake's going to make it. Like we didn't, we didn't know if you were going to be alive. Like we were getting spotty details, and then thankfully, Danny was like, "Here's exactly what's happening." Just for you guys to know, like we're not being hyper public with this yet. But
dude, there is one point we're in the helicopter, on the way to Augusta, and they gave me ketamine, which was wild. I don't really remember, much, but there's at one point where there's this bright white flash, and I'm like, "All right, Lord, here, I guess we're about to meet, face to face," and I opened my eyes, and it's the paramedic staring me in the face. I was like, "That's not Jesus." And then I passed back out again, dude. It was so funny, though. I'll never forget that, man. I was like, was I about to die? Or what was going on? Maybe it's just the drugs. I think it was just the drugs, but
maybe, who knows? You lost a lot of blood. Who knows?
Man, it was wild, though.
I know when I got into my second flip, the first flip, I was kind of like, I don't know why I was thinking this. I was like, man, I'm going to die in front of cowboys. Like, it's this old, restaurant, which is where my truck flipped. I remember in the second flip, I had that. I was like, "This is it. I'm dead. I'm 100% dead." And I was just holding on, waiting for everything to crush around me. And somehow, Ford has engineered the greatest truck to ever be, because the cab held up somehow.
Dude, I think about the movies where when that's happening, they're playing the slow, maybe Ave Maria or something like that, and it's just some opera music, and everything just slows down.
And the chaos, everything's flying around in the cab.
But your bobblehead deer made it,
dude. I was so excited. This is gonna sound. People are gonna think I'm just the biggest idiot ever, but I'm standing up sideways. I'm having a panic attack a little bit inside because I think externally everything's working. But I know I'm bleeding inside, because I had a huge, and I still have it. It's a massive hematoma, just big pocket of blood. And I was like, something's going on inside. I know it. I can feel it. Something doesn't feel right. Couldn't breathe because of the airbag dust. And I'm like trying to get out of my truck, and I start to climb out, and I look back, and I see him. I see my bobblehead, and he's still full. Like, he's sitting on my desk right now, and he's going. First thing I do in every vehicle I've bought for 20 years is put up the same bobblehead deer that I've had since I was a kid on the dash. I knew stickies. I have it primed and ready. He's already ready. I just have to rip and stick. And I remember looking down, and I was like, I really should grab you. But if I exit out of this vehicle holding this thing, people are going to think I'm literally people are going to think I'm an idiot. So I was like, I got to leave you, but I'll come back for you. And sure enough, the next day we went to the tow yard where my truck was, which was horrific. It was like, you know, it was one thing when it's on its side and smoke and all the stuff, but then you see it and you see the impact and you're like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe I survived that. And I got in and I got him. He's sitting on my desk. He's just waiting and ready to go.
Love it.
So, yeah, it's funny. If you zoom, you could zoom into the picture of my truck sideways. Whole front end's gone. Nothing's left. Diesel motors in pieces. Just complete wreck. And you zoom into the picture, and you can see him just sitting there all good. Yeah. I bet that was a ride, dude. I bet he was just bobbling all over the place.
Yeah, he was putting some rubs on that tree.
Yeah, but glad to be alive, and glad you're alive. And,
yeah,
oh, man, it's been a traumatic year for our church. I think it's
it really has.
But it's, you know, we're growing. Everything's going, honestly, from a ministry standpoint, great.
Good,
we just keep having all this. But really, I don't know if it's just things are worse, or it's just we're that large of a ministry in a town like this, and just we have that many people, and there's just stuff. Life happens, and life happens at such a fast pace now, and maybe some of this stuff was happening, and it just wasn't blasted through social media, and everyone knows about everything the next day when.
Yeah, it's weird. I was thinking about this the other night when you were playing in Rutledge in the park. And people are going to think this is so bad. I'm like, you know, dude, like sometimes like being in a small town is not that great because you know everyone everywhere you go. I mean, it's the sweetest thing ever, but sometimes you can't escape.
You can't.
But that's how I feel about like, everything that's been going on around us is, I mean, we still are a small town. So when something happens, dude, the chances of you knowing someone and being impacted by it are just so great. And we're the biggest church in the county. So I feel like it just increases that even more. So, you know, maybe it's a mixture of both, of being the bigger church, you know, that's growing. And, man, just thank the Lord for that because I don't know. I tell people, like, I don't know. Like, I don't think anyone, we're just being, you know, obedient and trusting the Lord in that. It's not like we're special or anything, but the Lord has definitely blessed our church. But that's just where we're at, man. We're a small town that's, you know, got a growing church in it. And it just, we know. I
never thought about it like that, but you're right. It's like growing up, I grew up in a really, really large town, and I used to be uncomfortable in environments where I didn't know anybody. You know, like you go to a restaurant, you know, no one in there. It's like, ugh. Like I used to kind of, now it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Like I go to a restaurant in town, and obviously we know everybody in there, and everybody wants to talk. And I'm like, ugh. Like I played a show at Eddie's Attic. I guess it was like 2 weeks ago. First time I've been like in that side of Atlanta in a really long time, and I go up into the upstairs of Eddie's Attic, and I didn't know a single person in there, and it was like one of the most comfortable. It's probably the most comfortable I've felt in a really long time. It was so backwards and weird. I was like, this is awesome. Like, it's all new people. I don't know anybody. And we love living in Morgan County.
Yeah,
we love living where we live, but it is crazy. And now we have this horrific thing called What's Happening in Morgan County, which is this diabolical Facebook page that started. That
I don't
literally
even follow it, dude.
No, you can't. You can't. It'll just make you dislike everybody. Because if you cut someone off on accident, or you pass them on, you know, the bypass or something, there's a picture of your vehicle, and someone's like, we should find where this person lives and burn down their house. And like, it is wild, and everyone's complaining about everything. And I'm like, I'm not in it, but my wife is, and she shows me stuff, and it's
I think Natalie's on it. Maybe I need to ask her to look at it.
Well, I joined it. I joined it the day of my wreck just because I wanted to say thank you. I was like, where am I going to be able to thank all the first responders? Because of course, fire was there multiple fire trucks, ambulance pulls up. There was like 10 Morgan County cops, GSP pulled up. It was like everybody was there. And I just want to say thanks to everybody. And of course, I put it on there. 700 something people comment on it. Oh my gosh, it's a miracle. All this amazing stuff. One guy, hey, you didn't say anything about the other driver. Like, I bet it hurt pretty bad getting hit by an F-250. And I was like, dude, are you?
They pulled out in front of me.
They pulled out 10 feet in front of me. Like, I'm concerned about them too. All this was a thank you. They were okay. This was a thank you to first responders. That's all this was. I was just trying to be nice and say thanks. You didn't have to come in and try to rain on the parade.
Always somebody.
Oh, man, Facebook.
They probably go to church with us.
I think we've got to, there has to, I don't know what, but it has to be uncool to be on social media somehow. That trend has to happen.
Dude, I would love that to start.
It is killing us. It's killing us.
It's a double-edged sword, bro. It truly is. I think about all the time of deleting everything. I'm like, I can't.
No,
I mean, I could,
you especially can't
but
with Next Rung.
I can't. It's not possible.
Well, I did. I deleted everything, and then I created a burner account on every. It's still my name. Like, it's not like a burner, like I use some fake name, but I used my name. I have no friends. I probably get 40 friend requests a day just from people like who keep trying. They're like my friends. They're like, why won't you add me?
Yeah.
And I just delete them all. I have no friends except my wife, and I. Can see the pages. I can manage the church's Facebook page and do the things that I have to do on social media for my business and for my music. But from the aspect of like seeing what seeing what everybody's doing and like, man, why is their business growing? Mine's not growing as fast. Like all that's gone. Like I've just deleted it. I can't. It is a diabolical, horrific place. There's barely any good. And even when there is something good, there's always one guy someone's got to come in and pee on the parade, and it's horrific, man. I can't stand it. So, but for Next Rung, you got to have it.
Yeah,
I mean, you're reaching all these people with social media.
To get away from it.
I mean, this podcast can be on social media.
It's a positive. It really it can be so positive, but some days you're just like, why?
Yeah, get this out of here.
But you're talking about being an Eddie's addict, dude. It makes me think about. I tell people, I say all the time. I think I tell people often, I would much rather get on a stage in front of thousands of people than sit down and have a one-on-one conversation with someone. I don't know why. Like that's just, I guess the way the Lord made me, man. But
He made
I'm
me the
way
same
more
exact
comfortable,
way.
dude. I like just put me on front, like on a stage in front of all. Like I'm okay with that, and we'll talk. Like we're gonna have a good time. But
I have left
the most
my
awkward thing.
You will relate to this more than anybody. You're probably the only person that I can have this conversation with because people don't understand it. I could walk on a stage, 300,000 people. Play any song, talk about anything, doesn't bother me. I don't even think about it. I don't care. I can get up there and do it. If we were having a staff Christmas party and there's like 8 of us and someone goes, oh, get a guitar, sing us a song. I multiple times have left places. I've left karaoke, something like that with a couple people. I've left. I left when it was me and my wife, a bunch of her family. It was like family and very close friends at a lake house for July 4th one year. And they were like, we're going to do karaoke. I didn't say a word to anybody. I snuck around the side, got in my truck, and drove down to the house we were staying in. And Jenny calls me. She's like, where are you? I'm like, I had to get out of there. She's like, what? I was like,
knew it was coming.
I was about to have a panic attack. I'm not singing in front of 5 people. Like, and it's not it's not enough people. It's literally, will have panic. I hate small audiences, small crowds. There's something, I don't know if it's because you have to be more vulnerable or what. I don't know if it's harder to disconnect. I can't do it. This is easy. Like me and you just chilling talking.
Oh yeah, this is
easy.
Good. Yeah.
But if there were 2 people right there that we knew
watching,
talking,
I'd be so nervous.
Bro, I'd be
dude.
white in the face. I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd just be like, "You got to leave. Like you can't be in here."
I'm the same way, dude. I don't know why.
We're strange.
Like I've forced myself and made myself better at it, obviously because I have to.
Yeah.
But I'm way more comfortable.
Yeah, 5 people in the room. Tell us your story. I'm not doing it. Yeah. I'm not doing it. I'll record it and I'll send you a video of it. How about that?
Yeah, exactly.
So, well, it's 6:55 on the East Coast.
It is.
Are you going to the prayer walk?
I don't like. What do I do? Do I go and just sit there? Or?
Yeah. Man, that was a bad. I didn't mean to ask that question.
No, I've legit thought about it. I'm like, if I don't show up, I'm a piece of crap.
No, you're not.
But if I do show up, am I going to walk the prayer walk? Like I can't.
You can just drive up in the Jeep and run on the window and just say hey and just be seen.
I bought a little scooter for CIY, which is the camp we take our high schoolers to.
Did you really?
I did, bro. It goes like 16 miles an hour.
What?
Yeah, it's like a stand-up scooter.
Where is it?
It's at my house. I didn't bring it. I'm going to bring it to the church tomorrow.
Dude,
I'm riding
I
it through the
cannot
halls.
wait to see you zooming through the halls
Yeah,
of the
it's
church
gonna be
on a
good.
scooter. That's awesome. I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, I did because you're walking probably nearly a mile a day at least.
Oh,
And
that camp life.
I was not about
No
to walk
transportation
on a cane
anywhere.
for a mile every day of the week. So
No,
I did.
you would have been
$300 at Walmart was the best money I spent all week.
That's
was good.
that's all it was.
That's it, dude.
Dude, I can't. Oh, I'm not gonna try it because I'll break it. I know $300. That thing's not carrying me.
Hey man, it worked. It did what I needed to do. So,
yeah, we got a cool
Brett said,
thing.
"Dude, we should make you a little parking spot at the church for it." I was like,
Brett's
"Come
a
on."
great influence, but also a bad influence.
Yeah.
He's both.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got prayer walk starting in 4 minutes down the road, which is cool. Like that small community, we're still allowed to kind of with the school system and stuff, go around and pray over the school and students and over teachers for the year and all that stuff. So there is some benefit. But we, thanks for doing this. You were literally, when I started this podcast, no joke, second person that popped in my mind was you. And the other one was just because I was going to see this guy that weekend and I thought about it, but I was like, can't wait to do one with Blake and just talk about all the things. And I feel like with Zach, my buddy, we did the last episode. I was like, this is going to be a recurring thing. This is definitely going to be a recurring thing.
I love this. Yeah.
We didn't even scratch the surface.
That's it, man.
We didn't even scratch the surface. But thanks for doing this.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
Just disclaimer, we love living in a small town. That's not what we were both saying.
Oh, yeah. I didn't mean that in a negative way, but obviously, everyone knows it's true.
Yeah, everyone knows. I know so many people who I love living here. Man, they drive 45 minutes to go to Walmart in Athens because they're like, man, I don't like that. Everybody knows me when I go. Trust me, it feels good to sometimes get away and eat dinner with your family and not have to talk to 45 people. Yep. But it's what we do, and we enjoy it. And I'm thankful you're alive, and so glad that you're on the mend, and you're doing great, and you're doing awesome things in the community. And Next Rung's killing it, and our student ministry's killing it, and your family's killing it. You're on the up and up, my friend. So
yeah, man, I appreciate it, dude. I'm glad you're alive also. I mean, I got somebody we can share war stories with now. So.
Yeah, dude, that whole flipping, that was not, yeah. Oof. And before we go, I do have to ask this.
Yeah.
Do you, because Jenny has asked me what I was doing 4 or 5 times, and anytime a thought like hammers in my mind that shouldn't be there, I just kind of I just kind of go like that, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And it's not like PTSD, like, oh my gosh, but I can that moment where I saw them turn in front of me, like I can be there, I can flash to it, and it is horrifying.
Yeah,
I don't like doing it. I know your crash was drastically heavier impact because you were hammering into trees, which don't move, by the way. Like this vehicle, when I hit it, flew 50 yards, 45 yards through the air. So it moved. Trees don't move. So can you flash to it at all? Like I don't want to
No, for sure. I don't know how to explain it either. I mean, if you've been in a car accident, or I don't know if you've ever hit your head and it's like that bright flash, you know what I'm talking about? Like that's what I feel like when I was hitting those trees. Like, I mean, it happened so fast, but that's the most distinct thing I remember is hitting those trees, dude. I mean, that's where all the damage came from. But yeah, it's wild to think. I don't really remember a lot, like the few seconds before that, but I definitely remember hitting all those trees and just the loud sounds and just the craziness and the impact of it. So
I feel like the Lord's taking it away from me though. Like the first 2 days, I could vividly I could ride.
Yeah,
I could ride it again.
I don't think I have PTSD.
I could ride it.
Yeah, but
maybe it's my brain bearing.
I haven't gotten into a fire truck to drive it yet. I told him next time I do, I'm gonna go like 5 miles an hour and be like, whoa.
They need to you just need to get out like on a track or like on a track and just take it to Atlanta Motor Speedway, let them borrow, and you just drive and just relax and get back used to it.
But I drive fine. Like, I mean, my personal vehicles and stuff like that, I mean, I don't think it'll be any different.
I told Huff, the guy who owns the Ford dealership, I was like, I got to get a different color or something because
black is not good.
No, I'm not looking like I can't get in the same exact year model truck and look at the hood. Like I was like, I know I won't. I was even in my dad's truck today, and I mean, it's like the brightest red you ever seen, and still I was like, I got home and told Jenny, I was like, I don't love driving as much as I used to. I'm hoping it comes back because
It will.
It used to be my favorite thing ever, but now
You're
I'm
still fresh out, dude. You're fresh out.
Yeah, you're a seasoned vet now, man. You got 7 months post accident. I'm like, what, 6 days, 7 days? I'm just hanging in there, but. Well, glad we got to do this. That's the reason we did it a week late, was because we were supposed to record it last week, and I wrecked on Friday, so we were unable to do it. But so for those of y'all that I said, we've got a podcast coming this week, it didn't happen. But I had a valid excuse.
To record in the hospital, he wasn't.
I would have done it. It would have given me something to do. I wasn't in there long enough to do it.
That's
Luckily,
true.
I was in and out. But how long? Not unlike you. How long were you? You were in there for.
Almost a month.
Oh my gosh, it's insanity.
I think I came home on the 28th or 29th, 27th. I can't remember. Yeah, nearly 30 days.
And then wheeled up in this place
in a wheelchair.
Dude, my funniest. I'll tell this last. It's short. It's 30 seconds. I'm setting the story up longer than the story actually is, which I do all the time. But the funniest moment for me during your accident, because there were funny moments. He was doing announcements. From the stage, and I told him, I said, normally I push you out. He didn't need to be pushed. He could wheel himself easily. I just liked doing it because it was funny. So I pushed him up to the front, and I was like, look, when you're done doing announcements, I'm going to back you away slowly, facing the people, and people are going to get weird. They're not going to know what to do. It's like Ricky Bobby, like, what do I do? Like, do I stare at him? What do I do? Because normally, you respectful, you turn someone around and push them the other way. Negative. Push him to the front of the stage. He did announcements, and I, as slowly as I could back up, I just backed up slowly, and Blake just slowly waved to everybody like the closing of a movie. Oh,
so that was good. And then I also got stuck in the elevator lift.
Oh, right here. You can't see it. It's off camera, but there's a wheelchair lift that takes up, I don't know, a quarter of our green room, because we all made fun of this thing. Like, what a why, like, why this thing is ridiculous.
I said before the building up, I was like, I'm going to ride that thing every day so it gets used, not knowing that I would actually need it.
And it's so slow. He'd get in this thing and slowly go up. But one day, literally, he got stuck in it and couldn't do it. Like, Brett went out and he's like, well, Blake's stuck in the wheelchair lift and can't do announcements. That was so funny.
Like half a foot off the floor, dude. It wasn't even that high.
No, yeah, you could have jumped. I mean, yeah, and it's
good times. Good times.
Man, some foreshadowing.
There's funny moments in all of it, dude.
There is, and that's not even
joyful
dark humor.
Moments.
That's not even dark humor. That's just real.
Humor.
That's just funny. So, well, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, bro.
You truly are a legend. I mean that, and I say it a lot. Like I said, I've diluted it, just like our generation's diluted the word love, but I've diluted the word legend. But to you, I truly mean it. Like, bottom of my heart, you're a legend.
Thanks, man.
I'm excited we got to do this. We're gonna do it again.
Okay.
Probably sooner than later. You may just be the next episode too. I may do it again. So, but everybody, thanks for listening. If you made it all the way through this, truly, thanks for doing this. I don't really, like I said before, I don't really have a goal. I'm just doing this because I enjoy hanging out with friends, talking about stuff, and I'm doing this with people who I think can inspire people to do good and to just, whether they're building a pressure washing business or they're a firefighter or they're a world famous songwriter or hunter. Hopefully this inspires you to try to leave an impact, to do something important with your life, and be like Blake, dude. Be like Blake. Be a legend, and we're thankful for you guys taking the time to listen. And we'll see you in 2 weeks for episode 6. I'm not really sure yet. I was going to fly out and do one in Oklahoma, but I backed out last minute because had some other stuff to do. But I'm going to be flying out there soon. Going to Ducks Unlimited Expo this weekend coming up to play some music for Drake, which is going to be fun. So probably do some podcasts while I'm out there, but I'll put it on social media. With as evil as it is, I'm going to put it out there and promote it there, because where else are you going to do it? So this has been episode 5 of the Hear Me Here podcast. Thanks for listening. Everybody have a great week.